Alright, so in kind of a controversial move, the mid-chapter patch has pretty much entirely been walked back. So we'll scroll through this real quick. You can see the twins are now considered a minor change. Haddonfield's obviously the same, but they walked back a couple things. So reverted, Victor no longer latches onto survivors put in the dying state. Victor once again latches onto survivors who are injured by his pounce. Charlotte no longer gains haste when a victim is latched onto by a survivor. Yeah, when a survivor latches onto Charlotte. When Victor latches onto a survivor, right? So the whole entire thing, oh, and you can see it says major update because that's how it was in the past, even though it's considered minor now, right? The whole thing was they wanted to make her not so slug heavy. So they tried to make it to where when you actually downed somebody, Victor would be stuck on that person. So I don't know what they could have done. Maybe they could have made it to where Victor had a pretty long cooldown after landing a hit or something like that. I don't know. He's so fast though. It really wouldn't matter unless it was like a 5-second cooldown. And still you couldn't kick him. Maybe they make him kickable after you injure. I don't know. It's just they pretty much felt like I did and just gave up and decided to walk it back. And so now basically the twins are the exact same. They'll still be God tier at slugging. So the dev note says we've received a lot of comments about the twins' strength on the PTB. Yeah, people were saying they're like, nurse level, But they kept the quality of life changes and the add-on adjustments and things like that. We may revisit the twins in a future update if necessary, but these smaller tweaks will make the twins feel better to play for the time being. So who knows if the twins will ever receive a change again. They honestly don't need it anymore because people really wanted just it to not feel so clunky anymore. Nobody was asking for an entire rework, in all honesty, because the twins are already good. Like, yeah, people don't like being slugged out, but there's not really much you can do with just how the power works fundamentally. I mean, I'm sure you could come up with something, but people, when it came to changes for the twins, they were mainly asking for something to make them feel not as awful to play, and that's exactly what they got, so they'll probably never be revisited again, in all honesty. Blight got a couple add-on changes. No need to even look at them. They were just toned down. I don't even think they were strong to begin with, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Decisive Strike had its animation removed. The PTB featured a new animation for Decisive Strike, which the survivor would stab the killer to free themselves. The animation had too much of an effect on the perk's expected behavior, adding a delay. So instead of a 5-second, Decisive Strike, it was technically like a 3-second. Because when Decisive Strike was activating, right, like it actually stunned the killer for 5 seconds, but the survivor only got 3 seconds of distance because the killer would hold still, and then the survivor would spend like a second stabbing, and then a second getting off, and then free to run away, right? So they got rid of that completely because, dude, people were in a rage about that. So they just decided to remove it entirely. And yeah, I think the only way you could have fixed it is to make it to where the animation was happening while the killer was walking still. So that way, and then they drop them, and then they're stunned for 5 seconds. But that's probably honestly a coding issue, and they just decided to get rid of it completely. And it says, to note, the stun time for the perk will remain at 5 seconds for the time being. So they might end up walking it back to 4 seconds, 3 seconds maybe. So who knows, we'll see. Ultimate Weapon now. Ultimate Weapon's getting a change again. So right now it's on its PTB version, which is a version that's going to go live and will be changed in the future, is when you open a locker, you have 15 seconds to activate it. And wherever you walk, you see the auras of the survivors, right? And their auras are revealed for 3 seconds. 5 with Lethal Pursuit, right? So now, reverted affected survivors will once again scream instead of having their aura revealed, which is kind of good because Distortion, if this was an aura reading perk, Distortion would counter every single info perk in the game besides like what, Infectious Fright. So yeah, and then change now affects survivors within 32 meters of a locker, previously inside the killer's terror radius. We received some mixed feedback during the PTB. While the perk was less appealing for some killers, it remained a strong choice for killers with high mobility. To make its strength a little more even across more killers, we changed Ultimate Weapon to be based on the locker's position rather than the killer's. This way, killers without traversal abilities or with the smaller terror radius can take advantage of the perk more consistently. We also have brought back the Scream to allow it to synergize with other perks once again, right? So it can, like, I guess, it can synergize with, like, Dead Man Switch, right? I think if this was a Scream and an aura reveal, this would actually be a really good perk. Because Thwack from Skull Merchant is whenever you kick a pallet or destroy a breakable wall, they scream and have their aura revealed for 4 seconds. But that requires a hook. Whereas this is on a 60-second cooldown. It should also reveal the aura for like 3 to 4 seconds. But yeah, people are saying it's completely terrible. It's completely garbage. I mean, it's not... I don't think it's awful. It's definitely not like usable though. But if you down somebody and you're worried about a flashlight save, you can go open a locker real quick and find out where everyone's at within a 32-meter radius. So I think it's not terrible, but it's definitely not a perk pretty much anybody will use. But that's it. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. And so yeah, the Haddonfield change is still going live. Nothing changed there. Remove D-pips, match details, archive improvements, and store improvements. So all that stuff is coming. And the most important thing, probably the biggest thing out of everything here, honestly, is Huntress is getting her new visceral skin, what is it, Tuesday, I think? So yeah, here's the new developer update for 2024. They walked back a lot of things. And honestly, I don't know why, but Behavior is getting flamed for this. Like, yeah, it was definitely a big mistake on their part to even try to release the twins in that way. At least they didn't let it go live. You know what I mean? So they got to get some credit in that regard. But the fact that it even went to the PTB like that is kind of crazy. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I think they just wanted to try out something new, and, you know, people didn't like it. And, yeah. Kind of insane, to be honest, but yeah, that does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.